I'm going to be ranking every Minecraft passive mob on a tier list for you to enjoy. And whilst I do that, I'm going to be getting some building done in my Minecraft beta server. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So for mob number 1, we have the LA. They were added fairly recently, probably 4 years ago at this point, but still, fairly recently. They're the little blue things which fly around the world, you know. They pick up items, you know, stacks of items. I've never really utilized them. I like that you can find them caged up, and you can breed them. They can't die. They have some uses, I think in XP farms. But, you know, generally I don't really use them. But I think their concept is cool. Wish they dropped something though. So we're going to pop that bad boy in B tier. Up next, we have the Armadillo. Now, I briefly mentioned the XP farms with the LA, but that's what I primarily use the Armadillo for. I've always been fairly fond of Armadillos, just generally. I like that they go into the ball. I like that you get the scoot from them for the dog armor. I think they are generally a very, very good creature, but primarily what carries them is the fact that you get that excellent XP farm for them, and it's great in survival worlds. So, I'm putting this bad boy, this little fella, in A tier. Look at that. He's sitting there, and he's sitting there pretty. So number 3 is the Axolotl. The Axolotl's ambient, and if you're a collector, I guess they're kind of cool. They apparently fight squid and the evil demons under the water in the water temples, but I've never really used them much. I think they're cool and aesthetic, especially if you're having a, like, you know, aquarium or a pond, enchanted pond, but aside from that, I see no real purpose for them. I think they're a very average mob, maybe even below average in B. I'll shove them there. I think I'm happy with that. Next we have the Bat. This is probably my easiest ranking. I think they are the worst. I think they aren't good. They annoy me. They would be 10 times better if instead of the Phantom you killed them and got a Batwing and they could repair an Elytra, but they're just an ambient mob. They don't really do anything. They now have a better skin, I suppose, but I get no benefit from having them in my world. Seeing them in a cave is cool, but other than that, not for me. Not for me. We then have the Camel. Now, the Camel's kind of cool. I like that you can leap over things with them, have a friend on the back with you. I don't like their spawning though. I don't like that they just appear randomly in villages, you know? It seems a bit half-assed. I wish they were wandering in packs of 3 throughout the desert. I think that would be cool, but they don't. I don't know if there's anything else they do though. I'm very inept when it comes to newer mobs and their, you know, their style. So I think I'm gonna have to put Mr. Camel in C tier. Sorry, fella. We then have the Husk Camel, I believe. What might this be? The Camel Husk. Again, I suppose in C tier. It's a cool zombie variant. I don't think it deserves anywhere higher than the Camel. It doesn't deserve lower, given it's fairly similar. It's slightly cooler, I suppose, but that's about it. I'm putting you in C with your brother. Up next is the Cat, and this is going to be an unfair rating because I do like collecting the cats and they drop random items and it's kind of fun to, like, you know, have them about villages and stuff, and they've been excellent in creeper farms when I've been building them, just boxing them up in there, you know, they have no say in it. So this guy is an A tier for me, just because how I utilize them. I think cats are kind of cool. Let's put you there. Go ahead. So number 8 is the chicken, and based on it being a chicken alone, I feel like I have to put it in S just because it's been there from day one. You get feathers from them, which are used in countless recipes. We've got the arrows, we've got the book and quill. That may be it. But then there's the eggs as well. You know, get cake out of them. You get more chickens out of them. I do think they're cool, and I like their little mob design. I think that's, you know, what's the word for forever? You know, ever more, ever giving, just withstands time. And so we're keeping this guy up here, and you know, I'm happy with that. I'm smiling ear to ear for that. Excellent work, chicken. Great job. In number 9, we have the cod. I like the cod. I like fishing in Minecraft. I miss the old texture because I'm a nostalgic freak. But I don't think it's anywhere. It's not better than these two guys, armadillos and, you know, cats. Certainly not better than the chicken. So, this guy is staying in B with the LA. Maybe I've been a bit too kind to the LA, but, you know, permanently there. So we keep the little fish fella there and keep going with it. So number 10, we have the copper golem. The copper golem is cool in concept, but I've never really been able to utilize him to his, you know, highest capacity. When he was added, it felt like a great addition, you know, for sorting systems, the cool new blocks that come with them. But I feel like they've been a bit lackluster. They're a bit lazy. They should work harder. I don't think they're D tier, but they're certainly C tier with the camels, just because I don't much care for them. I've tried using them in my own survival worlds, and they never work out as I want them to. Is that a skill issue on my end? Almost definitely. But, you know, it's got cool animations and a cool looking skin though, so maybe it would be a C+ if I were doing the half rankings. I'm not though, I'm being stricter. We're keeping you in C. Up next is the cow. S tier immediately. Leather is an incredible tool. I like the steak. The steak's fun. The cow itself, nice little mob. You get some milk from it too. And, you know, strike that bad boy with lightning and it does nothing, but it cooks the beef. I was thinking of the mushroom. We'll get to that in the future. But yeah, no, the cow is cool. And an S tier character. I'm a big fan of it. It has so many uses with the leather. I know you can technically get leather from, you know, rabbits and such. You know, mutton, putting the hide all together and stuff like that. But for me, the cow is the top dog in regards to those kind of animals. You sit there pretty with the chicken. We now have the donkey. Donkeys are cool. I like riding them. But, like, there's better guys out there. I like the skin. But, is the benefit really there? I do think it's the D tier. Is that fair, though? No. Let's put it in C. And I'll save the D tier horse-type mob for later. You can predict what that's going to be. I do like that you can attach a chest to it, though. It's just nice that they wander around the fields unharmed, blissfully. I remember a duplication glitch which required donkeys, and so maybe it's even deserving in the B tier just because of that. It made me incredibly rich on an SMP server I used to play on. So, yeah, let's put you in B and think about what we've done in the future. We've got the frog, and the frog has, you know, the ability to get those 3 little blocks and a cool little skin. You know, the blocks I'm talking about are those light ones, which I'm forgetting the name of. I want to say frog light, but it's probably not that. So, is that the only thing they add? They don't eat fireflies. We don't have those in the game. So for 3 blocks, are they worth it? I wish they did drop something. I think they are happy to be in B tier. Maybe I'm missing out on certain, like, things you can do with them. But, you know, for now, the little frog fella can stay in B and kindly keep the donkey company. I think that's reasonable. I think I'm being reasonable. Maybe I'm not. Who knows? So we now have the glow squid. I like the glowing sacks. I think they add something to the game. I like that you find them in the deep underwater caves. But that's about it for me. I don't think they're any better than these other fellas, the camels and the copper golems. I think if I'm being fair, this is just your run-of-the-mill average mob. It does something, and it does something relatively cool, but that's about it for me. Um, argue with me in the comments below, but for me, the glow squid should just sit there and see. We now have the happy ghast, and maybe it's just because it's so new, but I think it is worthy of sitting in A tier. I like that you can attach boats with like villagers or mobs in them and transport them over to your world. They're slow, but it's kind of a cool mechanic to have. I wish they were a bit rarer to get and maybe have a breeding mechanic, but you know, maybe that's the only thing keeping them out of S tier. But an early game, fly across the map and just enjoy the space is, you know, great in my eyes. I think the Happy Ghast is an incredible addition. The only issue I have with it, which may even pull it down to B, if I so cared to, is the fact that it makes the most annoying noises when it's in your world. I wish there was a default way to silence them other than muting all passive mobs, but, you know, for now, you can sit there in A with the cat and the armadillo. So we're now onto the horse. I think the horse is probably in the same tier as the donkey because it can go faster, it can jump higher, but it can't hold a chest. You can armor it up though. But I think B's perfect for it actually, with the donkey there. I think that's completely reasonable and fair, and I think I'm a benevolent ranker for doing just that. Horse, you're in B. So we're now onto the mushroom cow. Ooh, the mushroom is a fun mob. I like the way it looks. I like its little island. We're not ranking the island though. So, yeah, I like that when it gets struck by lightning, you get the little brown fellas. You can use a bucket on it and get some mushrooms. You can get leather from it with the cow. Oh, it's riding up. It's not quite a cow, but it's close to it. I'm putting you in A. I think you are actually far better than I initially thought. I was comfortable putting them in B with the others here, but no, A, you can stay. Lovely work, fella. So we're now onto the mule, and it feels a bit harsh to jump down 2 levels, but I think the mule is a D tier. I don't much care for it. I never really use them. I'm sure it has the same mechanics as the donkey, but I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I'm basing it on looks alone. You can't breed mules because, you know, they're all infertile because they're a horrific hybrid of a donkey and a horse. But, yeah, I don't have any real logic to go with that choice. Forgive me if you disagree, but we're putting the mule in D. So we're staying in D for a little bit longer. We've got the ocelot. I don't like the ocelot, really. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't turn into cats anymore. They're kind of pointless. I guess they add something to the biome, but with that logic, the bat does the same. I think they're an F tier mob. I wish they dropped something. I wish they did something. I wish when you tame them, they would act similar to the cat, but they don't. They just maintain being a skittish creature of the old jungle. Wahoo. So we now have the parrot. The parrot is used for a cool screenshot when you find the jungle, or when you want to feed it some cookie and watch it die immediately. I don't think it's a very good mob. I like it in the game, but I don't think as a mob it really adds anything. I suppose you get feathers from it, making it much like the, you know, S-tier chicken, but other than that, I don't really give a shit about it. Forgive me for swearing, but yeah, no. We're putting the parrot in D. Again, you can sit with the mule, maybe peck off the fleas or little rodents that are crawling all over it. Maybe that'll give you some use. Now we have the pig. I like the pig. Is it S tier? To me, no. It's A tier. And that might add some outcraw to a lot of the people watching this, but I like it. I don't think it's as good as the chicken or the cow, and because of that, I have to keep it in A just for my soul. I like that you can fly them off and get the achievement. When pigs fly. I like when they're struck by lightning, they become a zombie pig man. And I think if I played more Skyblock, perhaps I'd have more uses for it. Perhaps I'd want to make a gold farm to utilize the pig. But other than that, I don't think it's the best mob in the game next to these fellas up top there. So, as passive mobs go, you stay in A, and I'll smile politely at you. So we now have the rabbit. The rabbit drops rabbit hide, and that's about it. You get the killer rabbit, if that's still in the game. Maybe you have to spawn it in. They've got a cool new overhaul. Oh, you get their lucky foot, which gives you the jump potion, or the potion of bounce. I think you're a C tier mob. I like that you're cute. I like that you're all over the place. I think you're a fun mob to have about. But I don't think under good conscience I could add you in B tier. But thank you for dropping stuff when I kill you with a sword. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. We now have the salmon. The salmon doesn't give me nostalgia like the cod. The salmon doesn't really do much other than add some diversity into the oceans. I don't think you can make a potion with it. I wish you could make like a fish chowder or stew with it, but you can't. Just because it's a fish. You can eat it, I suppose. I'll put you in C with the other fellas here. Perhaps I'm being very obtuse with my choosings and rankings, but ultimately I make the rules here, and you have to understand that this is for me. This isn't for you. Make your own tier list if you disagree. This is for me. So we got the sheep now. I like the sheep. The sheep's going in S. It is an S tier mob. You might be wondering why. It's just the colours it adds. You can get so much from the wool. I know you can get wool by, crafting with spiders, putting all of those little fellas together. But I like the shearing mechanic on it. Oh, the more I'm talking, the less I'm liking it. I think the wool brings it up. But does the sheep itself add anything of note to the game other than that? No, I will put you in A with the pig. Sorry. As I went through your list of things you can do, as soon as I realised spiders could make wool, it brought you down a level. There's renewable wool in the game, and there has been for time. So, yeah. Sorry, Mr. Sheep, you're going in A, even though I do love the Jeb_Sheep, the multicoloured fella. I think he is pretty cool. But, yeah, you're going in A with the pig. So up next is the skeleton horse. I think it's only fair for me to put the skeleton horse in C tier. Why? It looks cool. That's really it. And it is below the horse, but above the mule. Makes sense to me. You'll sit there and see. And, yeah, that's nice. That's friendly. You go there. Hope you're alright with that. If you're not, figure it out, I suppose. Bring it up with the authorities. So we're now onto the sniffer. The sniffer was such a letdown, in my opinion. You spend so much time getting it, and it gets you two, flowers, which don't really do much. It's a cool looking mob, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't do much. It just doesn't do enough for me. I wish that you got 2 unique dyes from those flowers. And rule of 3? Give me a 3rd flower, maybe? Maybe sniff up some interesting other stuff that you can't get in the game. But you get 2 flowers. And they give you a dye. Back in early days, there were different shades of wool, and to re-add 2 of those, the teal, I believe, and the other one, which I think was a magenta, maybe I'm wrong, it would have been a great way to add that back and make you a B tier at least, an A tier maybe. But no, you have to sit in D because I don't care for the flowers. They don't add much, if anything, to the builds. You're just a fun mob to have about, I suppose. Pottering. But that's it for me. We're now onto the snowman. I do like the snowman. I like shearing the snowman and getting his goofy face. He puts snow everywhere. You get unlimited snow. You could build anything with that. I built many a mob farm with the snow of a snow golem, and it made me joyous and happy. You're easy to make. You defend your ground. You die when it rains. You die in the nether. I'm putting you in B, just because I like you so much. When you got added to the game, it made me terribly happy. So, you know. And when you learned you could shear them, and they had that little goofy face underneath. Cool, you had my heart. You had my heart. Let's do this. B tier. So up next we have the squid. Now the squid adds ink. And ink adds renewable black dyes for building and stuff like that. You can make the book and quill. You used to be able to milk a squid. That must have been a reference to something filthy from old Notch. And I think he's spawned in the correct area for me. He is a B tier mob. I know he's an OG, but B just feels right. Which is kind of rude, given I put the pig so much higher, but... yeah, no, you're a B tier mob, squiddy. I don't even know if I agree with myself with that one, but hey, I've committed, and at least they can't say I'm not committed. We are now onto the Strider, the boat of the Nether. He's a cool little guy. I like that he shivers in the overworld. I like that he loves the lava. I like his little goofy look and that cool mechanic he has. But he doesn't really drop much other than string, which I presume is his wispy hair from the top of his head. We're putting you in C tier. No, you do more. You do enough. I'm putting you in B tier. I use you. I use you in the Nether. You deserve to be in B. And, yeah. And be happy with that. Quit mucking about. I see you with your other Strider friends on top of you. Grow up. Sort it out. So we have the newest mob added to the game, the Sulfur Cube. I know nothing about this mob, and so it's unfair for me to rank it. I'm basing it on looks alone and its potential abilities. I'm putting you in C. Again, I don't know enough about this mob, so it's kind of cheeky I have him in this tier list at all. But, you know, we'll put it in C, and hope no one cares. So up next is the Tadpole, and I feel like he just has to go a rank below the Frog in C. The reason I say that is because you move the Tadpole about, and then they grow into frogs in a specific biome, and they become frog spawn. You can get any of the frogs variants, you know, and then you get any of the blocks, subsequent blocks from the magma cubes. So, you know, it's only fair that you're at least slightly closer to the frog. You don't do the full Shazam with that. We still need the frog from you, but, you know, you're close enough, and it's okay. It's okay. This won't set your career back at all. Stop worrying about that. We're now onto the tropical fish, or what everyone likes to call Nemo. It's a D tier just because I like the variety of them. You know, you can make an aquarium. You can go with my other aquarium buddy there. I have placed you many a time from buckets and you always disappear. But for now, you're going D. And all, however many there are of you, probably 10,000 of you variants out there, can look at me and think, wow, you are disgusting, you're a freak for putting me there. I apologize, but that's just what us at corporate have to do. We have to make a decision, and my decision is to put you in D. And you can bring it up with HR, you can do whatever you like, but for now, you stick in D. So now we have the turtle. I like the turtle. I like the scoot helmet. I like the way they look. I like what their eggs bring to farms. And that's why I'm putting you in A. I think the eggs are the main reason we like the turtle. But the helmet is cool, and also the potion you get from it. I feel like they had the right idea with the turtle. They gave it so many different uses. And then we have other mobs, which don't have as many. You have the glow squid, which could add more. You have the LA, which could do a bit more. With axolotl, which does nothing. It's crazy out there. But, you know, turtle, you can sit there and you're a kind soul. You're a loving soul. And I'm proud of you. So up next we have the villager. The villager is an easy S tier. I don't even need to explain that one. S tier. Maybe I'll rank all the villagers at some point. S tier character. Thank you, Mr. Testificate, thank you. So we're now onto the Wandering Trader. The Wandering Trader is useful for those in Superflat. It's useful for those in Skyblock. It's useful for those in, you know, that's about it. When you don't want to go too far, maybe get some bamboo or some new blocks. You spawn everywhere though, and you come with camels which keep spitting, not camels, llamas which keep spitting in me. I think that's why you have to stay and see. I don't think you're as bad as other people think you are, don't get me wrong. I think you bring enough to the table to stay and see with the other average fellas. You're not below average, don't worry. But, you know, our next guy just might be. And the final mob is a bit of a letdown. It's the zombie horse, recently added to the game. For some reason has a shadow on it. Let me turn that off. Yeah, no, I think you're in the right place. You are a D tier mob. Next to the mule. Yeah. I know it's weird having the skeleton horse above. I just think it's a cooler skin. We're basing them on skins alone. So, yeah. This is my tier list of all the passive mobs in Minecraft. I think I did a good job. It definitely represents me and how I play the game and what I value in these passive mobs. I think I've got a good S tier here. My A's and B's, maybe some moving around should go there. I wonder what you'll disagree with me about. But, you know, we like to have fun here. So, we'll end it there. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you enjoyed this. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.